Alright. So, as I mentioned in the past 2 or 3 videos, I will approach the J.K. Rowling controversy. This will have a few heavy topics in there, so just a quick trigger warning. There's going to be transphobia in there and some sort of racism. So if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, please just be aware of that. I will put a trigger warning in there later as well. I will either mention it or I will put it on the screen with my crazy editing skills. And that should be settled for now. So, J.K. Rowling, we all know her. We either love her or we hate her. I never really met somebody who was like neutral. Okay, yeah, people who don't know her, they don't love or hate her. But yeah, so she is one of the most, if not the most successful author out there who is also currently alive. She is the author of the very popular Harry Potter books and also other books, which I do not know. I apologize for that. But she earned millions, if not billions of dollars. And did she get dollars or pounds? I have no idea. Let's not talk about that. But she is very, very successful. She's very popular, and fame usually brings some problems with them. For example, if you say certain things, the internet does not forget. That's a sentence you have probably heard quite a lot of times when, for example, your teacher or your parents try to educate you on the subject internet for very valid reasons. So I will try to go from minor controversies to the major ones, so we can start soft and just end with the big stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like a school's essay, although it's not. So one of the popular controversies, which also turned into some really funny memes, is the constant add-ons on her books. She finished them, I think, around the year 2009 or 10. I will correct myself if I'm wrong. But after she finished them, they're done. They're out there, people read them, they love them, or they don't. And that's it. That's the story. She wrote it. But sometimes when you write a story and you hand it in, for example, in an exam in, I don't know, German class or English class, and you forget to add something, you can't just add it, you know? You gave that exam. You can't just take it back and be like, oh, oops, totally forgot something. Some authors, they like to put new information afterwards that is canon, which means it's real in that world. And sometimes it's okay, that's cool. It's like interacting with the fan base even after writing the book, and sometimes it really has good stuff in there. It's really appreciated, and on other times, when it, for example, doesn't make any sense, or when it's just so, why though, then it's not that good. Some really popular examples would be Dumbledore's sexuality. He is gay, that's what she said. And there is no problem in that. I mean, that's literally empowering for the LGBTQ community, and I think that's what she was going for, because in all those 7 books his sexuality was never mentioned or hinted at. So there was a group that was like really happy about it, like, oh my god, representation, and I completely understand that and I completely support that. Like, you get that, okay? You're allowed to have a representation, especially like in such a popular thing. But the other group is like, yeah, but why did you never hint on that? I mean, obviously he doesn't just go around and say, Harry, by the way, I'm gay, or, you know, but maybe just some hints, but there were none. Like, people were just going through these books trying to find something, but there was nothing. Or some rather disturbing things, for example, Dobby, the elves, Pee-Pee, and we were all like, wait, but why? Why do we need to know that? And then another controversial stuff that also brought up some racism. So a few years ago, I think around the year 2017, there was the musical. Was it a musical or was it just a theater? I'm not sure. The Cursed Child. I like to call it a cursed book. It was super funny, I know. And because it's just the story wasn't good, but it's not about the story. Somewhat. So, they casted a woman of color for Hermione Granger, which is not a problem at its first. I mean, yes, it's unusual for some because they grew up with Hermione being white in the movies. But then people started to point out that in the book, sometimes Hermione, I think 2 times, was specified as white. Although you could let it slide because the way it was written, Hermione's white face could also mean, Hermione's shocked face, which would fit the situation she was in that very moment. But it's still, I don't know, especially since J.K. Rowling said that white Hermione Granger was never specified. It's a little bit fishy. She could have just said Hermione's shocked face instead of white face. But the fan base were forgiving enough, or the community was forgiving enough to just let it slide, to be like, okay, let's just move on. Now, around 2018, that was when Crimes of Grindelwald came out. That was a new movie series, Fantastic Beasts. I love the movies. They had a few flaws, obviously, but I found them super amazing. The effects, everything was just beautiful. The thing is, 2018, before Crimes of Grindelwald was released, J.K. Rowling said that there would be hints towards Dumbledore's sexuality, and she could redeem herself that way. You know, we would totally be like completely happy. But there were none. I mean, I think there was this one scene which you could interpret as like a relationship, but also a really close friendship. So you can see the issue there, right? So she completely turned a JK on us. Get it? Lol, just kidding. I'm sorry, I will never make that joke again. Okay, so these are like the minor controversies or problems. A lot of memes were made through that time. It was funny, it was games, it was chill. We didn't necessarily hate her. We just didn't agree with her actions, but it was okay. She wasn't a monster, and she's still not a monster. Just not a good person. I'm sorry. The thing is, she was like a hero to me. She wrote those books that helped me escape a reality I felt like I was stuck in, which I basically am, but like in a bad way. And so the following controversy completely broke my heart. I mean, it doesn't affect me personally, because this is where the transphobia part comes, so trigger warning for that, because there is some stuff said that is really not okay. I will quote what she said. I do not agree with what she said. Context matters, by the way, so if for some reason people now will take these quotes and say that I said that, please don't do that. That's not what I think at all. I think what she said there is cruel, vile, and so stupid and ridiculous and childish and totally not okay. Alright, so she uses Twitter like most of us do. I mean, some celebrities, for example PewDiePie, have made the smart decision to not do that because sometimes mistakes slip through and then you're screwed. A lot of people got cancelled over Twitter. I think I mentioned it before in the PewDiePie controversy that cancel culture is awful. But in this time, I completely stood behind them. I was like, yes, cancel her, please. That's really not okay. This cannot get through. So I'm not sure if the following quote is a tweet or if she said it, but given the way it was written, I suppose it was a tweet. Now, again, I do not agree what is going to be said. People who menstruate, I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wumban, wimpund, womad, and that's... I think those were the first few tweets where people were like, hold up, what are you trying to say there? This is obviously against, trans women? Or trans men? Oh god, now I feel awful. I'm not sure. Trans people who are in a woman's body, but they are men. and that is so valid. If you do not feel comfortable in your body, if you think you are another gender, then you are another gender. Nobody gets to tell you if you are a boy, a girl, or anything else, okay? Just to make that clear. If you menstruate but you feel like you are a boy, then you are a boy. And that's a fact. Good. That's my little pinch of salt. So this was the first tweet that got people already heated up. Like, what the hell were you thinking? Like, why would you say that? And then she bashed women who were obsessed with getting skinny. Now, being skinny has always been a huge thing, especially in a woman's world, but also in a man's world. So, either for appeal, or because you don't feel good enough in your body, or just because you want to be skinny. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't go over your limits. For example, getting into an eating disorder to lose weight. That's not okay. Please seek help if that is going on right now. So, this tweet is basically about those people. And again, I do not agree with that. I know it's getting annoying if I repeat myself all the time, but I just want to make sure you are aware that I do not agree. Is fat worse than vindictive, jealous, shallow, vain, boring, or cruel? Not to me, but then you might retort, what do I know about the pressure to be skinny? I'm not in the business of being judged on my looks. What with being a writer and earning my living by using my brain. And this is something a r/not like other girl would say, who says that having brains is way more important than looks. And this is very important to know. No, you are not better than anything else or anyone else if you are smarter than them. Because I also don't like to say that you are smarter than somebody, because there will always be a way where you are a bit ahead of somebody else. There will always be a way, always. And if you're really, really pretty, hey, that's great. And if you are really, really smart, that's great as well. If you are both, that's great as well. Let's not tear each other down just to feel better about ourselves. I mean, not just the girls, obviously, also the boys. Let's just support each other and push ourselves up. I mean, this time is already really depressing. Not just like right now, 2020, but like in general. We are all somewhat depressed, and we don't need all that pressure and all that. You know, it's just not okay. So I don't like these kind of statements where girls, for example, blonde, tall and small, or I don't know, skinny girls are like bashed for revealing clothes, while the other girl who is not blonde, who wears glasses and who only reads books is like better because she's smart. And the thing is, both girls are so valid, you know, like both girls are amazing. It doesn't matter how you look, because your personality is still what matters. You can be a whole lot of jackass and can still be super smart. And you can be super, super, super pretty and still be super, super kind, you know? Yeah, you know. So, yeah. That's not a transphobic post, I'm aware. I don't know if it's skinny shaming or... I don't like to use the word skinny shaming because that is also a controversial thing, because fat shaming is a thing. And I would like to say skinny shaming is a thing, but let's not get into that. I don't want to say anything controversial. So the next thing is, again, a transphobic thing. I shouldn't be so chaotic with my points, but I guess it is what it is. So again, I do not agree with this statement. I do not agree with this quote. It's absolutely... If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth. Well, it is hate to speak total bullcrap. I'm sorry, this is not the truth. You can be straight, you can be bisexual, you can be lesbian, you can be gay, you can be trans, and you can still live out there. Women will not be erased by trans people. You will not be erased because not everybody is trans. And I think this is one of those typical statements you would hear from somebody who is transphobic, who is desperately trying to say that transphobic lives aren't that valid. I don't know if she was trying to say that. I mean, she did say that she loves trans people, but I don't know. Because back in the day, not too long ago, and still up to today, trans people, or just people in the LGBTQ community in general, were literally killed for their sexuality, killed for their decisions with their body, and tortured and abandoned from their families and so on. And now she's trying to say this bullcrap. This is not okay. She has such a huge fan base, and I do not want to imagine how many people are transgender and are in this community and had to read that. The woman they looked up to, the woman who gave them a world to live in, saying these hateful things. I do not want to imagine the disappointment and pain and just everything. Like I said, I was not affected by this because I am not transgender. I am bisexual, and she didn't say anything about that yet, and I'm really glad about that. I'm sorry, my nose is blocked. It's November. But still, this is still awful to look at, because usually when you're younger, you don't look into these kind of things, because all you see is this queen who made awesome books that gave you a world, a meaning, something to hold on to. And as you grow older, you start to see more and more things that were not okay. And I don't know, I am not a celebrity, so I cannot speak out of experience, but I can speak of the things I see whenever I'm on Twitter or on YouTube or on Instagram. When you're famous, you have some sort of responsibility, especially over the things to say. You can hurt people seriously. You can say things without thinking about them and literally ruin a person's day, week, year, sometimes even a life when it's really, really strong. And it's really important to take accountability for that, and she did not do that. And the thing is, these are not the only things that happened. I didn't want to make the full list because there would be so much, and I was scared that I would do it the wrong way. So these are like the most popular things that happened and that I really wanted to talk about. But I would suggest you would look into this a bit further in case you are still defending her. I actually heard about all of this from a very, very important person in my life, my mom. I mean, not biological mom, but, you know, I adopted her as my mom, so she is my mom now. And I'm so grateful that she, you know, spread awareness, because otherwise I would have still supported her. I mean, I was kind of, you know, I didn't really like her after all of this minor controversy thing, for example, the add-ons to the book, or all the, hey, there's gonna be a sexual Dumbledore, no, not sexual, gay Dumbledore, but then there wasn't, because I was really excited for that, like, representation, but okay, I guess not. But I didn't know about the transphobia part, and I'm so glad that I have my eyes open now, and I hope you are too. So, I think I already made a video to that I'm taking a break. If this video is uploaded, that means the break is over. I apologize for that, because, you know, usually you don't just take a break whenever you want to, especially since I already did that, and that's not very good. So I will try to just keep my schedule and keep on going, and just, I'm doing better now. My class I'm in is nice, and so more videos should be possible. Now, I know this topic was a bit heavy. I do not know how much this affected you. If it affected you in a really bad way, please do not be afraid to speak up, and do not be afraid to, you know, talk to somebody. Even to me, you can talk to me. My DMs on Instagram are always open. My name is Uzagizel. No need to follow, you can just text me, and that's it. Okay, if you ever feel sad, disappointed, stressed, or happy, or bored, drink chocolate milk. It's always a good idea. It's good stuff, just believe me. Or, if you want to, Java chip frappuccino. I saw this recipe for Java chip frappuccino. I so badly want to make it. Maybe I'll even make a video to that. Who knows? Wear your masks, be careful, and stay safe. I love you all. Thank you for bearing with me.